welcome to Select Arcane! It's been a minute since we've done a doll, and the truth is I really enjoy doing them. I've just been really busy lately. So this specific doll is not for me, but we'll get into that a little later. I'm using a KCs Galloping Gal, and first things first, this hair has to go.
You can make that, what's that little short girl from the Incredibles with the,
Edna?
Edna, yeah.
No, not Egna, Edna.
Edna?
Edna mode.
Oh.
Okay, no, we're not making Edna mode. While this hair is beautiful and thick, it's way out of proportion and a different color from what I'm wanting. So I take some very sharp shears and cut it all off. I believe I ordered this doll right before the bald heads were an option, so it is a little shame to waste such beautiful hair. Once she's ready for her first year of art college, sacrifice her. I use boiling water and dip her all the way in. The bobbing up and down is optional, I don't know why I do this. Taking a kitchen towel, I pop her head off with ease. And proceed by ripping her hair out through the neck hole. I like using these locking needle nose pliers and I find they're really helpful. This is going to take a while, put on some YouTube videos, maybe watch some of my old stuff, and pick away at her until she's completely bald. Next is getting the face clean. I use 100% pure acetone, dip a Q-tip in, and remove the face. This stuff is incredibly toxic, so make sure to open a window and keep the lid on. When you're done removing the face, take it over immediately to go wash with soap and water. The acetone can actually start eating away at the vinyl and ruin the face later on. While her head is drying, let's chat hair. I'm going to be using Goldilocks from Viscose Heaven, and this is my absolute last sample of blonde hair. Recommendations for new viscose hair suppliers is absolutely welcome. I really hope I have enough. Alright, let's prep her head for hair. And wait, let me check my reference. We're going to do a side part. Using a pencil, I just mark where I'm going to cut. It's not actually that much more difficult to do a side part and not a middle part, which is already mapped out for you. Just make sure your blade is sharp. Ugh, I missed all this hair. Let me just clean it out for a second. Ew. Looks like spiders in her head. Okay, back on track. Testing out the Goldilocks on this doll, it looks like we're gonna actually have more than enough. So I separated it all out, put it on a sandwich bag, and I'm using Elmer's glue wall to create wefts. If you're interested in making your own doll and want more detailed instructions on hair, I got you. I got a video for that. I use the 1/9 scale standard technique for hairing. After a few hours, the wefts were dry. I cut them in half, shaped them, and then stuck them into the doll's head. It took some strategizing since I actually added a little bit too much hair, but it's fine, we're fine. I worked out how I wanted it to lay down, and then I started gluing, one side at a time using a chopstick. I prefer to use toothpicks for this, but I couldn't find them. One side and then the other, and now I'm going to leave her overnight to dry. Elmer's glue wall doesn't really take that long, but I really want to make sure that the hair is bonded to the scalp. The next day, when her hair is fully cured, I take a piece of scrap fabric and wrap it around her head. It's a little hard to figure out, but I put her head on a chopstick and tuck the cloth around her hair. I stab pins into her head to secure the fabric, and then take a piece of scrap wire to hold the fabric in place to the chopstick. Make sure you're pinning those pins into her hair and not her face. Yes, I know I complain bitterly about MSC, but today we're at 45% humidity, and MSC is better on vinyl in the long run. So I take her out for her first initial spray, let her sit for about 40 minutes, and then begin her face up. I do have a detailed face-up tutorial if you prefer that, but for today's doll we're going to deviate from my standard formula and do a 100% watercolor face-up. My reasoning behind this is that because this doll is not for me, I want to make it as perfect and flawless as possible. I started by laying down a little sketch with a very light brown pencil, proceeding to darker brown, and then blocking in the basic colors. I am following a reference off screen, and it is of a certain hobbyist, and I'm very, very curious to see, is anyone going to figure out who this doll is of before I say their name? Okay, I'll give you some big hints. They're a big model horse influencer, they're American, and they're always brightly smiling. This face sculpt had more of a frown, so I really had to force up those corners of the mouth and go against the eye molding to make this character a lot happier. For the blushing, I'm using my usual Korean Mungyo hard pastels. Any mistakes I make, I can just wipe off with a bit of water. And once the face is no longer taking pigment, I go out with MSC again and spray the face. MSC is so volatile, I'm not terribly confident, but we'll see. And then I go back in for layer 2. Deepening the eye color, adding in more shading, really trying to turn this doll into a real person. I dug through all my fabrics, this isn't all of them by the way, and I realized that I do not have any of the proper materials to make her clothes. And because it's the weekend, I have free time to go to the thrift store. I'm going with a casual white t-shirt, and to get that started, I cut the fabric into more manageable sections. Because it's a shirt, it's already stitched together, so I'm just making my own fabric squares. And then I amazingly found my bodysuit pattern. This is the exact same one I used on Karen, and I found the most success with. But I'm going to be transforming it into a t-shirt. Now, if you know, I can't sew anything. So true seamstresses, please look away. But after I pin and cut out the body, which then I remember I have to do 2 of, I choose to glue my pieces rather than sew them. What? I know, right? That's because most model horse hobbyists use the glue for their doll clothes. It's a lot cleaner. I don't know what I was thinking all these years. After turning it inside out, I tried it on and it was great. I did some cleaning up and tried it on again, and wow. This is definitely the cleanest shirt I've ever done. It took a quarter of the time, and I wasn't not meaning to go with this rough collar look. I'm sure that was a mistake on my part with the cutting, but I'm digging it because it's supposed to be really casual and fun. And here we are. The reason I go with the bodysuit is so that I'm going to be tucking the shirt into the pants and nothing's going to ride up or down. Also, after I finished this shirt, I had to go back to Karen's video just to see how I did it, to see how it compared to her shirt. And oh wow, I really messed up. The way I made this t-shirt wasn't even close to how I was supposed to make it. What happened to the sleeves? It turned out great anyways, but wow, nobody watch me for sewing tutorials, please. The pants were a whole other hot mess where I forgot how to make a pattern for them, and I certainly could not find my previous patterns. I winged it and, well, as you can see, it didn't go so well. So I basically followed my own tutorial with Karen's video again, and here we are. Thank you, past self. These pants took forever, but they are definitely my best ones to date. And they're not even sewed to the shirt. Look, if you bend her legs, they don't slip down. Now onto my arch nemesis, shoes. My original concept was to use these green rubber boots, but that would mean that I would not be able to use her feet, and that would limit her riding ability. And matching them up with the green pants, I had a feeling this would happen. And yeah, I think I'm gonna do field boots. It's not as daunting as when I did Karen because I've already done this before. First I start by gluing her pants to her ankle. I make sure not to glue the joint because I want that foot to be flexible. And then I pull out my pattern from Lisa Sharp. It's very comprehensive and easy to use. You can find it in her Etsy store, and she has some tutorials on how to make her own boot pattern, so I'll skip that. However, I want to mention a few things that might help you. The leather I got was from a leather store in the scrap section. It's thin enough that I don't have to skive it, and it's really good for a project like this. The glue that I'm using is Fidhi. I don't know how to pronounce this, I'm so sorry. But it was really good. It has a really nice tip that actually lets you apply the glue so you don't need a toothpick or anything. It's fast drying, easy to use, not nearly as smelly, and I prefer it much more than Uhu glue. By the way, got it on Amazon. Also, while waiting for the boots to dry, I make a belt. I'm using some hardware from Rio Rondo and just a strip of leather lace. My original plan was to do the boots and the accessories in brown to go with the green, but unfortunately I don't have any brown leather of the color that I want, and I didn't really have time to go out and get new leather. It's hard enough just finding leather that's thin enough for this project. So with the boots and the leather accessories and everything else all done, there's a few extra things that we need to do to make this doll complete. And these things involve basically giving away who this doll is going to be. So this is the time to get into the comment section and give me your guesses before I unveil. With the shirt done, I think it's pretty obvious, but I won't say the name until I get the head on. This is the first time we're ever seeing the face together with the hair. And now to gently put it on the body. Oh my gosh, I love her! She just needs her hair adjusted and a quick clip, and I forgot to gloss her eyes, so I'll quickly do that off screen. And she's done! The cat's out of the bag. Meet Sam, aka the mini Collecting with Sam. This doll is destined for the CWS Oakland Open 2025 Live Model Horse Show raffle. It's a 3-day event destination show held in Davisburg, Michigan. And this is the first time Sam's ever running a live model horse show, so it's gonna be good. Now, to be honest, I never did tell Sam that I was doing this project, but before this video comes out, she'll know all about it. I hope you love her as much as I do, and I hope you enter some raffle tickets into her cup. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram at SelectArcane or on Facebook by the same name. You can also follow Collecting with Sam on all of the same social media platforms. See you at Oakland Open! Bye!